Recently watched a show where after 2 seasons we finally get an inside glimpse into the emotional side of a character, specifically a male character. And at first I was like, yes, this is what we want to see. The breakdown of toxic masculinity and its impact on men. But after taking a closer look at these characters' relationships, especially romantic ones, I realized that it wasn't all positive impacts, because you know who else was waiting 2+ seasons for a change in these men? Their love interests.
I know he can come off like this smug, hard ass, but deep down, he has a really good heart.
Who just don't seem to be able to move on. And that seems to be rewarded by them actually having a semi-healthy relationship with this man, which, for the sake of the narrative, is interesting. But when applying the impact media has on real people, it is worrisome, because it's telling people to wait out the bad traits, to keep hanging on in a toxic relationship for the one spark of care you saw to eventuate into something. Which is, again, problematic when you look at the amount of time people go back to toxic relationships and how approximately 75% of women are killed by abusive partners. And while these shows and characters aren't blaringly obvious romanticizations of toxic relationships, we'll leave that to the romance genre, but we cannot ignore that the way that men's evolution in shows is linked to their love interests returning to them is problematic, because the truth is, unlike in the media where you're there for the whole story, in real life you might only be there for part of it, and it might be the bad part, because these representations of breaking down layers of toxic masculinity that sometimes it's easy to sometimes overlook the length of time it takes to overcome the toxic masculinity pushed upon us. And as much as you may want to help men through their journey, you need to preserve yourself first. This isn't to throw hate to those going through this struggle, because let me tell you, I have experienced a struggle with toxic masculinity myself. See, as a child, I was considered girly. I wasn't afraid to cry, I didn't like sports, I enjoyed acting and singing, and I liked my hair long. And that left me with little opportunity to find friends in boys or girls groups in early primary school. So I started masculizing myself. Tank tops, shorts, leaving my hair less than well maintained, even cutting it short. When I started high school, and as you can probably tell, my voice did not drop. So I overcompensated by dressing even more masculine, becoming adverse to anything feminine except the occasional makeup for theatre productions. I would even criticize others on how unmasculine they were, till I looked at myself in the mirror one day and noticed I'd stopped wearing earrings in the piercings I would beg my mum for. I had my hair so short that I had given up maintaining it. I wore jean shorts, which I had always thought was a crime against fashion. I had lost myself, but reclaiming the things that I had lost was harder than I first thought. The fear of being called a girl was terrifying, but I kept reminding myself there's nothing wrong with being a girl or a woman. There are so many amazing women in my life, and also that I'm my own person. It means that being perceived as masculine or feminine does not change who I am. So now I try and wear rings because they're good fidgets. I wear candy bead bracelets even though they're multicolored because my younger sibling made them for me. And I'm trying to grow out my hair a bit more as tribute to my younger self. But it's still been a long journey. Just the key thing is that it was my choice. People take their time to overcome that fear and to move forward. It can't be forced. And as much as I would like to see the people who I care about, who left my life during that time, to come back into it, I know that the reason they left was because they knew they deserved better. And I hope that on their own journey, they have found that better.